Are we live? Oh, yes, we are. Good evening, everybody on the tube. I can see you all already. So, good evening, everybody. Let's just check Facebook, see if they've decided to join the party, and they have. Whoop, whoop. Good evening, everybody. Oh, I'll give you all a minute to get logged in. I have got the fan on in the background, so if the noise bugs you, let me know. And, well, I won't turn it off, but I might turn it down. Right, so let's just say hello to everybody who's already there on the tube. So, hi, Margaret, Karen, Shell, Paula, Anne, Audrey, Helena, Shell, I've already said, Paula, Sally Ann, Karen, Saz, who's kindly going to do the links for me tonight. So, mate, I love your name. Rob, Kim, Sue, Caroline, Margaret. Right, everybody's starting to jump in. So let's get over to Facebook. You'll laugh at the screen. Look at what I've put on the screen. So when it always asked me to name, to give I always like to put the little screen on, as you know, the little rectangle thing, just to give you a bit of a title for the live, the demo. And I didn't quite know what to call it. And it says featuring lots of stuff, because I am using quite a mix of products tonight. But I think you'll like that. Didn't he do well? Who's that? What am I looking at? I missed something. Chrissy, what are you talking about? Have I missed something? Anyway, good evening to everybody. Right, let's take this screen off, and there's quite a bit to do tonight, and I think you're gonna like it. So just while I'm telling you, I'll clean my glasses, just so that's a job that's done. Bless you, Carol. No, I have to name the title of the video, put the little screen on, Chrissy, and I didn't quite know what to call this, because it's Shabby Chic, but it's done my way, and we're using lots of different products. There's dyes, there's stamps, there's metallic paints, chalk paints, so there's quite a bit to do. And this colour palette I've wanted to do for ages, and you know, when I get busy, I always forget, and then I thought, right, we're going to do it tonight. So you're going to like this colour palette, I hope. And I've called it something blue. You know that I like to do blue cars, blue flowers, blue, well, everything really. So I thought, let's have a go at something. There's quite a lot to do, look. Quite a lot to do. But I thought, let's have a go at something that uses older products with newer products, and it just makes something really, really fabulous. Now, I do know that most of what I'm using, the older stuff particularly, is there's only like bits left. So when I get to them, I will get Saz to do the link for you, and then I will give you a rough idea of how many we've got in stock. And obviously the older things, we're not going to get again, so you've been it's just forewarned is forearmed. So I'm going to move the little flowers to one side, because they're just extras in case I need them. Quite a mix for tonight. Oh, what's that? Yeah, bit of glitter in my mouth. That's a good start, isn't it? So quite a mix of things I'm using tonight. I'm just going to tell you the paints before we start, okay? So I'm using 3 chalky paints, and they are pale pistachio, powder blue, and ivory linen. I've still got the right glasses on for the moment. When we change to crafting, that's when I need to change them. So pale pistachio, powder blue, and ivory linen. And we're using ivory linen as a substitute for gesso, because the cardstock I've used is not white. And then in the metallics, I don't know whether you can remember this. So for anybody who's maybe watching for the first time or quite new to us, you can you see, look how fluid the vintage gold is. It was one of my older metallic paints that only had a tiny bit left in the bottom, a teeny tiny bit in the bottom, so I half filled it with water. I don't know whether you can see that. You can't really see. But I half filled it with water and then mixed it up, and it's given me a watery metallic vintage gold paint now, which is perfect. And I'm also using mink. Now, if you're somebody who's got my metallic paints, you will know how much I love, well, I love all my paints, the chalky, the metallic, and they just last for so long. But these two colours with this colour palette are lush. And the two inks I'm using tonight are Faded Jeans and Frayed Burlap. Okay, everything else we will do, I will show you as we go along, because it's just easier. There's a lot to do. So let me just draw a breath, just catch up with everybody who's just jumping in. Hi Lynn, that's alright, I've not done anything apart from talk, which I know will surprise you a lot, Lynn. Hi Mal. I had a lovely Monday. Well, I've been in my craft room from the crack of dawn. Hi Margaret, Chrissy. I don't even, Chrissy, for once you've rendered me speechless, because even I don't know how to respond to that cleanly. That's hilarious. Hi Jean. Couldn't answer your messenger, was updating. Oh bless you. Such as Facebook. 2 and 5, Chrissy. What kind of times are they? 2 and 5. Anyway, it should be fun. I've got a good mixture of bargains for you on Wednesday on Hobby Maker, so it's a really good chance for you to get some stuff that you may not already have. Just whilst we're talking about Hobby Maker, remember when I first joined Hobby Maker and I agreed to do the twice a month, it was only until I'd exhausted all the older stock. Now we're almost at the stage where I won't have enough of our older stock to do 2 shows a month, so I will be going down to once a month. As soon as I go down to once a month, we're going to pick up the online workshops again, because I will have more time. Right, here we go. Let's get cracking. There's a lot to do to this project tonight. Quite a lot, and you can see that I'm just going to bring this in and show you the colours, because these colours are they're just stunning together. I will tell you what they are in a second. But this is one of our craft card blanks, the top fold, well, we could have done it sideways. Not tonight, Josephine, we're sticking to the top. So this is one of the craft top fold card blanks. So in case you don't know, the card blanks that we've got in craft are a different colour to the A4 craft cardstock that we have. It's slightly thinner. So for the purposes of your die cutting and everything, you need to chop another one of your card blanks in half. I know it's shocking, really, it's shocking. And then I've got 2 bits here. Let me just move this to one side. We've got 2 bits here that are going to form the... which way do I go? Which way do I go? This... I've decided that this is my favourite from the 3D embossing folders. The ornate circles. I seem to be drawn to this every time I'm making a project. And I think it's because we get this gorgeous design on the right way up, and then we get, look at that for a negative side. It's absolutely stunning. If you haven't got the ornate circles, get it. Just get it, because you're going to use it lots. So we're going to start with the stamping. So I'm going to pop this to one side. These 2 pieces together will create my my layer for the top of the card blank. Yeah, so I've made sure that the alabaster, I'm going to show you the colours in a minute, the alabaster is wider than it needs to be so that I can overlap it. I'm just going to show you the colours before I forget to show you. So the colours I'm using tonight are obviously the craft from the card blank, alabaster white, which is like a milky white rather than a pure white, cobalt blue, which is possibly my second favourite blue because you know I love Air Force blue, and the Honeydew Whisper. So craft, alabaster white, cobalt blue and Honeydew Whisper. Now I know that loads of you went and bought the Honeydew Whisper when I used it a couple of weeks ago on that fancy fold card, but how beautiful is this colour palette? How gorgeous is that? It's very, very beautiful. Right, pop that there, pop that there. And we're going to start by stamping on the alabaster. So I'm not coming to the flowers just yet, we're going to do the stamping first. And I am going to use my platform, and I'm not using kitchen roll on it. I know, because I want it in that bottom corner. Actually, I might do it with my... Do you know what? I'm going to do it with my block, because I don't want it to be a perfect stamp, which I know is opposite to what I normally do. But I don't want a perfect stamp, so let me get some kitchen roll. I want to try and not get a solid finish from this. So I should have used a DL block really. Let me just see if I can find one, bear with. Oh. I can see it but I can't reach it. See if I've got one in here. Talk amongst yourselves while I'm just looking for this DL block. Of course the one that I want is at the bottom. Thank you. It makes more sense to have it on a DL. So I'm going to use one of our old Dragonfly Oasis stamps. And I can tell you that the one that I'm using is Dragonfly Oasis Believe in Magic. And you'll understand why I've chosen this one when we get to the end of the project. And these are the ones that are the slim strips. So I know that this is going to fit just nicely, look, on the edge of my piece of card, which is going to form the right side of this project. And I don't want it to be a perfect stamp, which I know a word you wouldn't expect me to say. And it's going to be watery, which is why I'm doing this first. So we're going to put the stamp on the block rather than in the platform. And I'm going to stamp it with the two. Let's just see if I can get this relatively straight. It doesn't need to be spot on, but it does make it easy for me to stamp it. So we're going to use the colours that are in the project. So the frayed burlap and the faded jeans are the closest you could get, are the closest you can get really to a match for the cardstock. On Audrey, the cobalt blue with the Honeydew Whisper looks stunning. This whole project is going to... I was thinking about that song earlier, Rob, and another one that's got blue in it, but it's got swear words. So we're going to put on the, we'll put the frayed burlap on first. So I'm going all over with frayed burlap. It does have a right way and a wrong way. and these stamps have words in them, and I think the words in this one say, which I really like, and I love getting older stamps out because it just jogs your memory. So the words that are hidden within this stamp are "Believe in magic and you will find it everywhere," which I think is just lovely. Away in Cyprus, red hot noisy spotting. Oh bless you. Well, enjoy your holiday. I've just realised Saz can't do links for YouTube. I've just remembered that, so let me just find them for you, everybody. I'm just going to find you the link for this stamp, because I can see, because I checked the stock. So this particular stamp, the dragonfly stamp, we've got 19 left. So 19 of this, and then once it's gone, obviously it has gone, because there won't be any more. So let me just find it for you. Believe in magic. Oh, it's half price, everybody. So this stamp is only £6.50 instead of... Crikey, I've slipped up there. Slipped up there, haven't I? This stamp here is £6.50 instead of £12.99. So I've just popped it on Facebook and I've popped it on YouTube. Don't check out yet, just put them in your basket, because there's gonna be something that I know for sure you want in a bit. Right, so we're now adding the faded jeans. So I'm just doing this randomly. So faded jeans and frayed burlap. And then I'm going to mix this with water so it's not such a strong stamp. We could have done it second gen, but I'm doing it first generation, but with water. So I'm just going to do 3 or 4 mists of water. That was 8. I never could count. So I'm just bringing this towards me just so I can see where I'm stamping. Just bear with me a sec. So I've just got to try and make sure I get it off the edge. Just off the edge. Let's see how we go with that. It doesn't matter about it being straight because it's getting tucked underneath that blue embossed piece. Oh, that's gorgeous. That's gorgeous. Look at that. Can you see that? So luckily I've just managed to keep the believe on. Believe in magic and you will find it everywhere. Isn't that just fabulous? So I'm going to pop that to one side and allow that to dry. You can see how spritzing with the water just softens the image. And when I put this... Oh, what's happened to YouTube? Oh, there you are, you're back. So once I put that side by side like that, look how beautiful that looks. So let's just allow that to dry naturally so it doesn't bend. Allow it to dry naturally. So we'll clean that stamp. I love these stamps. I loved them when I did them. And I've just told you there was 19, there isn't now. I can see when people are putting them in the basket. £6.50, you could get all 3. There are 3 of the strips, but I particularly like the words in this one. So let's pop that back. Pop that back on its carrier. And pop that back in its packet. So I've done with that stamp, so I can pop that to one side. Oops, acrylic block needs to go back in my TV box. And then we're going to come to the embossed piece of card. I'm going to put the kitchen roll back. So we're going to come to the embossed piece. Now I can't decide which way up to do it because it looks fab both ways. There have been a lot of problems with YouTube live streams in the last hour or so. Oh, that's interesting, Anne. So at least I know it's not just me. Oh, welcome Linda to your first live. I'll try and be good. Linda's just saying welcome from Flintshire in North Wales. It's her first live with us. So I'll try and be good, but it probably won't last, Linda, just so you know. Right, which way up do we go? Oh, decisions. I'm going to go the proper way up. We're going to go the proper way up. And what we're going to do on this piece is splat it in my inky box with the chalky paint, the ivory linen. So I've got my little splatter brush. And remember, I've chosen the ivory linen because it's softer than the white. It's not such a stark contrast on the blue cardstock. I'm going to use these paints loads. Ooh, just dropped the brush. So I'm just going to take a little bit out of there. That's far too much. I'm just going to pop it on my mat at the side. You can't see my mat at the side, but it's there. And I'm going to splat this. So just a little bit of water. A little bit of water and splat it in my inky box. Now remember, the chalky paints stay true to themselves even when you dilute them with water. So you can see I've got a lovely watery mix on there. I'm trying not to make it too thin. Oops. I'm going to make that a little bit thinner because I want some big splats on there. So we just bang it. Oh my god. That's just gone all over my printer. Hang on a minute. All over my printer. If anybody wants to buy a splattered printer, I've got one. Right, so we've just got some ivory linen splats on there. Just small ones, look. But that will add to the overall finish. I wanted a bigger one than that, just bear with me. I just wanted some longer splats. Oh, that's better. That'll do. In the interest of saving my printer, that will do. Now we are going to splat a few more things during the live. So the printer might be multicoloured by the time we've done. Let's just show you, look. So it's a splattered texture on top of the texture, and remember, you know me well enough to know that when the card is put together, you're only going to see a bit of this, so that's actually perfect. So again, pop that to one side. Let's get a drink. Poor printer. Splattered iPad. Who's talking is Sentimentally Yours? Is that Saz? Move your splatter box. Do you know what a cracking idea, Chrissy? What a cracking idea. Move your splatter box. Right. Right. So here we go. We're going to move to the ovals. So I've got in here, oops, if I can catch it, the brick texture. Now this is one that I found that I'd done ages ago. I found it in my box, and the dye must have moved in the machine. Look, this is the problem with manual machines. And I never throw things like this away, because these are good for just adding texture and tearing up and putting behind your apertures, which is exactly what I'm going to do. So on this one here, we're going to create a little blue tone watery background. So let's move that to one side, and this time I'm going to use the powder blue and the pale pistachio. I can't tell you which sets these come from because I honestly haven't looked. I've just gone with colours that I know I wanted to use tonight. So let's just get the splatter brush cleaned. And I've got another brush in here somewhere. That will do. These have been in here for about a fortnight. In fact, I think these have been there since we did the metallic card. So let's just create a little watery background. So powder blue first. This is only going on the back of this oval. So powder blue first. And then a little tip that I've probably told you 100 times before you dab it in, just add a couple of bits to couple of sprays to your card. So that's the powdery blue. And then we'll repeat that with the pale pistachio. Or soft pistachio, whichever it is. Soft pistachio. Oh, I needed a bit more. Let's take it from the pot. So this is obviously the paler colour. In fact, let's have just a little bit more paint. And repeat. I'm going to try and use a little bit less water with the pistachio. This is only going to be a subtle background because we're going to have the brick texture. Now the brick dye I know is almost gone. I think that's probably enough. So let's just leave that there. So if we've got any of the brick texture dye and you haven't got it, this is probably the time. I have got all the dyes that I've used over on my other desk, but I didn't want to keep stopping. So let me just take these hairs out from the brush. That's what happens when you use cheapy brushes. The bristles fall out. It's texture. We'll call it texture. Right, we'll let that dry. You can see these two colours are lovely and subtle, and they will bring out the colour in the back of this oval aperture. Just got to clean my hands. Why does that always happen? I want one, so 10 come out. I can't be doing with dirty hands. Right, here we go. Here we go. That's almost dry, but not enough for us to work with. So we're going to come to the die cut. So this is from here. Now this is a rare treat because I thought these were gone. So these are your graceful deep edges, and I can tell you 100% that we've got 10 of these left. Because I checked with the shop earlier, I even phoned them just to double check that we'd got some in stock, because it was showing more on our stock sheet than we'd actually got. But there you go. We've got 10 of these, and these are the ones that don't cut all the way, they just cut the edge, look. So I'm just going to snip this. These are 8 inches long, remember. Your graceful deep edges. And what that's done now is it's given me, where did I put that blue card? It's now given me something to put on here, look, on the edge of this piece. So I'm going to pop that on there after I've stuck the dragonfly on, which is now dry. So I'm going to pop the dragonfly background on first, and to do this, this is the first matte and layer for this card. So card blank, first matte and layer, and then I've created this as my second layer look. So I know that it's going to fit just like that. Just like that. So let's pop this on here. The easiest way to do this is to put the glue on there. Let's just remind myself, just give me a rough idea of how far I need to put the glue. If I remember, it's about 1 centimetre, yeah. So let's just get the glue on here. I've just filled this up and it's dry already. Oh, there we go. Hi Linda, hi Shireen, what a gorgeous name. What's a donkey? I don't even know what to say to that. So let's just pop the glue on here, so I know it's about that far. I'm going to put that in position. And then I'm going to put my other piece on top. So this is the piece with the embossing, remember. So I can make sure that this is straight. And it is. So I'll just push that down for a sec. And that now has given me my, oh, sugar. Are you impressed that I said sugar then? It was just a bit off at the top. This has now given us a dual background layer without having to create an extra piece. Just bear with me, it's got to be right. That's it, that's more like it. So I've now got the proper layer on there. So this has now created our background. So we've got that lovely Dragonfly Oasis stamp on the right, and we've got the texture piece on there. And what it means is you don't need to add an extra layer. We've basically made one layer from the two pieces of card, and then I'm going to put the border on. So I'm just going to position this so that the border doesn't cover too much of the words. Love this. Oh, the glue's dripping. And I know that this is a little bit longer than the layer, because these dies are meant to be just over 20 centimetres, so that they work on 8x8 cards. So I'm going to take this to the edge of the blue and just hold that down for a second, because remember we're on an embossed piece of card here. So I'm just going to hold that for a second. In fact, where's that acrylic block? This is a good tip for you. Where did I put that? is. You can do it with the acrylic block, look. So it just holds the whole section down all in one go. Hi Leslie. Yeah, you should be sorry. Yeah, put one of your stencils on the printer. The printer's covered in gesso, dust, glitter, more dust. There's some paper on there that's now splattered with paint, but it could be worse. Could be worse. Right, so let's just snip off the excess. This is one of those trust the process cards. Trust the process. And then we're going to have a little bit of twine on the back of here, just for an extra texture. Oh, shall I do white? I think I will. This is the one that's covered in ink now. This is what happens when you leave your twine near an ink pad. Let's just see if I can get away with it. I can't. Get the other pack. Get the other pack. So we're just going to do a little bit of twine on here. Tape. Where would you be if you were my tape? Let's do it with foam tape. Because it's going on foam tape anyway. So we're just going to wrap it round. This is a bit generous, I know it is. Too far. This is a little bit generous. But let's just add a little bit of extra texture on here. Just a couple of strips. Hang on, it's got to be right. And one more, I think. One more, and that'll do. Right, move that out of the way, and I'm just going to put the rest of the foam tape on before we start. And then this piece is good to go. Looks fine. It's a good way of using your slim stamps, this as well, and indeed your A6 texture stamps. So you can do like a half and half background rather than trying to do the full thing. Especially if you team it with an embossing folder, it looks really good. Let's just pop that on there. And then, as ever, a couple of bits through the middle. We have had a fabulous delivery of something. Oh, look how good that looks before I even start to put the card together. But I'm not sure they're on the website yet, so I can't even tell you. It's been a busy couple of weeks, as you can imagine. Drink, thank you very much. And another little tip for you, because obviously I'm going to put these two layers onto the card blank. I'm going to put this one on first. So this is the base layer, and this is, as you can expect from me, it's going on foam tape. So I'm going to, my top tip, because I've learned this lesson the hard way, is put your base onto your card first before you put anything on top of it, and then it just makes it a bit easier for lining up. It's less cumbersome as well, so it's easier to do one piece at a time than 2 or 3 layers. Now, well, we've already got the storage, Wendy. I've had the storage for a couple of weeks in the shop. What I haven't had is time to do the videos explaining it all. I might try and do the videos next weekend, this weekend coming. It just depends how much I've got to do. But remember, I said I can't sell you the storage until I've done the videos, because I want to be able to take you through it step by step. Right, so let's just pop this piece on. No glue going on this, so I've got to try and get it. Do it this way. I've got to try and get it right first time. That looks quite good. That looks good to me. And then this piece can go on. So we've already created the background. So this is the backdrop for our card. Easy peasy so far. I am going to put glue on this. Because we're going to have some sticky out bulky bits in the middle. So let's do this. I'll do it sideways again. It's much easier to do it sideways. So whether you're a fan of craft card or not, that looks really rather fabulous already, look. And I love that stamp. Love that stamp. Which is going to be kind of subliminal by the time we finish this card. Right, so moving back to the oval, which is not quite dry yet. So just whilst I put that on my coffee warmer, just to let it finish drying, we're going to bring in the foliage dies. So I've got a combination here of different foliage, and we're using the new where's my tweezers? Why have my tweezers be up there? It must have been me. We're using a combination of the new foliage. So this is the Majestic, I believe. So the Majestic foliage from Floral Finery 3. And Succulent Foliage. Now Succulent Foliage, well, I can tell you because I've got it written down here. Succulent Foliage, there's 12 left. So once Succulent Foliage is gone, it's gone. So there are 12. I thought I'd done 4 of these, but clearly only 3. So this is the one, if you remember, that we used quite a while ago. Yeah, the storage is... Nina. Yeah, the storage has been in the shop for ages, a couple of weeks at least. I've just discovered craft card and it's gorgeous with... Yeah. It's also nice with the alabaster white, which is what I'm using now. Oh, hang on, my screens have gone strange. Oh dear, you are funny. Let me just get you the Succulent Foliage link, because I think this is an A5. So this is all the dies I've used on this project. So that's your Succulent Foliage, which is on the A5 sheet. with 2 of the larger ones and 2 of the smaller ones, left facing, right facing, and 11 is what's left. So let me just see if I can find you the link. Adornments, foliage. I have put links in the description to everything, so if you go on the description, you should have links for everything in there. I'm not sure whether that works on YouTube or not, which is why I'm making the effort to just pop you the links in. There you go. So succulent foliage, I'm going to bend these back. I'm using the full leaf for these. This is the chunkier one. And remember, I always like a couple of different bits of foliage on any projects that I do. It doesn't matter whether it's a Christmas one or whatever. It's 2 or 3 different sorts of foliage. Adds interest, and it just gives it a little bit more depth. So that is... oh, we're not going to use that bottom leaf. That's because I was looking at the screen. We'll manage without that leaf. So I've bent them backwards, I've shaped them backwards, and now I'm going to point the tips. So remember, this is the one that I like to point the tips, just like this. So just pinch them together and it gives you a completely different look to the leaf. Can you see? Let's just see if I can get... there you go, look. It's almost like... it reminds me very much of a calla lily. The shape of the leaf once it's been pointed like this. So I'm just going to make the effort and do these so that they're all the same. And I've chosen craft card for these and Air Force Blue. So I'm still sticking to the colour palette that we've got, and it's just about balancing how much you use of each colour. And this is why it's a good idea, if you're going to have a go at this card, it's a good idea to have the stamped section on the back. So it's going to give it a little bit more oomph once it's all put together. So let's just knit these petals together, these leaves together. I'm putting no glitter in these, but what I am going to put in them at the end is some little pearls, but not till the end, because I don't want to put them in where they're not going to be seen. So shape them back and then point them. It gives them a lovely shape. You can only really do this with the succulent foliage because it's the widest leaf I've got, and it works really, really well. I remember showing you this before, so if you've seen me do this before, you will know that I love this one for this, specifically for this. So I'm putting no paint on the foliage at all. We are going to have glitter on the... there's one missing. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, that's right, 5. We are going to have glitter on these at the end. When I put this card together, you will see why it's all going on at the end. Yeah, I've not done bad. I've only battered 1 leaf so far. So you can see there, look, I've got a combination again of Air Force Blue, Alabaster White, and then just 1 in craft card. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take the background. Let's just see if it's dried. Oops, oh sugar, I've made that worse. I've made that worse for leaving it on the heat too long. Just got to, look, I've left it on the heat too high. So let's just put that back under there. Bring in the top for the aperture. I'm going to add a little bit of colour to this. So we're now going to bring in the metallic paint, the mink. So this oval is from the Stitch Torn ovals. We're going to bring in the mink. Oh, look at this gorgeous colour. So mink is obviously a minky colour, but can you see it's got that lovely silver tint? Now this is really, really creamy, so I'm going to make it a bit wetter. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, I love that. So I'm just going to go on and give this a little bit of a minky tint. Minky tint. I am watering this down because I want to go over the edges with gold. So we've now added a watered down mink sheen to this. So if I just wiggle that, hopefully you can see. I don't know whether you can see that, but that's got the pearlescent sheen to it. Can you see that? I'm not sure, but it has got the pearlescent sheen from the mink. And then I'm going to use my finger in the gold. Now remember, the vintage gold is the one that was done. I thought it was done and dusted. Yeah. So I thought this was done and dusted. Because there was only a tiny bit of paint left in the bottom of this pot. And it was quite thick, quite dry. So I've just put water in. So this is already a watery mix. Or it will be when I take that skin off. There you go. Oh, that's perfect. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. The printer looks special. At least it still prints, which is a bonus. Glossy accents would give the same effect as what? No, yeah, minky tint, better than a manky tint. So we're going to do the same thing with this. This is already watery, look. This was just rather than wasting. So look at that. So we're going to do a little bit of a gold tint to this. So I'm just going just lightly. I'm going to introduce the very faintest amount of gold. And this is why you never throw your paint pots away. Never throw your paint pots away. Because this was waste. This was going to go in the bin. And that would have been just a shame. Can you see, look, we've got the gold, like the gold leaf edge, just from paint that was going to go in the bin, which is quite remarkable. And whilst I've got that paint there, apart from what I've just got on my thumb, we're going to add a little bit of this to the white leaves. So the alabaster and the alabaster oval. And I am doing this with my finger because it's easier to control it. Oh, that's so lovely. Let me just show you. So we've got the shabby going on already from the design of the dies. And then we've got this gorgeous gold tint from the paint. That's a bit more than I wanted on that one, but it will be fine. I'm going to do the same on here. Remember as well, you can do this on, well, you can do this on anything. Grey board, MDF, cardstock, even vellum. So I'm just making it a bit stronger on the edges. And then I'm going to do the same on this small blue oval, but just on the edge. If I can get away with it, I'm doing just the edge of this. And then that paint, remember this is the vintage gold rather than gold. Vintage gold is slightly different. I do need to use that again, but I'll put some more on when I get to that stage. Vintage gold is a slightly darker, older gold than new gold. It's my fave. Right, let's see if this is dried enough. Yeah, I think we'll get away with that. I think we'll get away with it. So we're now going to put the texture dye onto the background for this oval. And we're going to use the brush glue for this. Crikey, it's 8 o'clock already. Oh, I don't know. Chrissy, well, I don't know what that means. It's not frozen for me. Refresh your screen, Margaret. It's not frozen for me. So, we're going to do the texture dye next. And I'm just going to do it over here. So instead of doing this on the aperture like I normally do, we're doing this on the top. So it's going straight onto there. And I've just got to check that that's straight before I squash it down. Not quite, not quite. Not quite straight. Oh, don't you just hate that? They're not even mine. So let's just check that this is going to be straight, because there's nothing worse than a wonky oval. Right, that's better. That'll do, that'll do. So turn it over, push it down from the back. Acrylic block, where are you? So use your acrylic block again, because you know you can clean it easily. Do you know, when I was prepping this, it took me ages. Ages and ages and ages. It's probably took me as long to prep this as it does 2 for TV. Quite set yet. So just let it set for a minute. I'll just clean this glue off whilst we're waiting. I promise you it will be worth it. It is very technique heavy, I know that. But once it's all put together, it will make sense. I promise. Right. Oh yeah, both of them. Right. That should be enough. So we're going to snip off the texture dye. Remember, this is a shabby edge, so it's it's a bit tricky. So it's better to come on the inside of the shape because we've got the aperture going on. It's not 100% dry. I would have liked to have left it a little bit longer, but we haven't got that luxury. So just whilst that's still not 100% dry, let's just weight it down. And then get some glue gel on the back of this. Now I'm not making it a raised aperture. In fact, I'll try it with white glue, see if that works. This is just a flat aperture. You will understand why when I start putting all the flowers on. We've not even got to the flowers yet. So remember your oval dies, your stitch torn oval dies, they do line up. I don't know where all these hairs have come from. They're grey, so they can't be mine. Must be Chris's. You could use these colours for any kind of card, really. This is going to be very flowery and very, very pretty. Right, so we've got the watery background. I hope you can see that. Just, it's very subtle. And then we've got the mink watered down paint with the gold highlights. I'm going to pop that somewhere where I can shove that acrylic block on top of it and let that set. So this should now be dry enough for me to, yes it is. This is just going straight on here with glue. All this is just a little cameo, it's just for decoration. There's nothing going on that apart from what you see. That is exactly it. That's just going to be a little decoration. And now we're going to move on to the flowers. And there's quite a few. There are quite a few. So where's my foam mat? Bear with me a second. Do you know, I had it earlier when I was getting ready. So where have I put it? Oh, here it is. So we're going to start with the flowers now. And there's quite a few. There's no getting away from it. There's quite a few. So I've used a combination for tonight of... I've used a combination tonight from the Floral Finery. So we've got a combination of Lovely Petals, which is the one that I used last week with the lacy edges. So Lovely Petals and Exquisite, I think they are. Oh, Enchanting Petals. So Enchanting is the one that's got the heaviest piercing in, which is why I like it. So I like that because it's heavily pierced. And that's how they look for anybody who's not seen them before. So these are not holes. You've got the shabby edges, but they're not holes. They are pierced. So we're going to put the flowers together before we put any paint on them. Now remember when I told you about balance, this card's got to be balanced. So because I've got mink and gold on there, I'm not going to put mink and gold on both of these, on all of the flowers. It's just going to be gold on some of them. So I'm doing these one at a time. Some have got stamens and some haven't. These are all double flowers. So I'm shaping the flowers and I'm going to put the pearls in before any paint goes on them. Missed one. And this combination, I don't know whether, I mean, you've all had your Floral Finery 3 dies now, so you've had time to have a play. But this combination works really, really well. So the lovely petals and the enchanting petals, which are these two, I found that this combination works really, really nicely. I mean, to be fair, they all do, so I don't suppose it matters which two you use. They were designed to complement each other. And it's easy for me to put these together because I know they were all doubles. And the pearls that are going in these are the caramel shimmer. Caramel shimmer. Now I've purposefully not made any of these ahead of time because they're all doing different things. Honeydew Whisper is obviously the odd colour out from this combination, so it stands out when you put this card together. So anything that you want to stand out, you just use less of. But it's a really, really pretty combo, this. Combination of 3 petals and 4 petals works perfectly. So the 3 petal flowers and the 4 petal flowers, it's a good combo. This is my central flower. So as I put these together, you can see, look, the blend we've got with this colour palette. And if I tell you the truth, I took a photo of this all laid out the way I want it. I took a photo of it on my phone and I've sent it to my computer so that I can put it together the way I want to. It's easy to get mixed up with where things, you know when you do a rough layout of your card before you stick it all together, or is that just me? And then you forget when you're actually doing it properly. That's frustrating. So it's worth taking a little photo on your phone just to remind you of the layout that you put together, the mock-up if you like, and how you liked it before you start doing it with the glues and everything. That's something that I've done for a long time. So we've got doodah, doodah, doodah. So I'm just going to check my photo to see which ones had stamens in. That's not the photo I wanted. Just bear with me a second. Bear with. Because I've got some stamens on here and some are left as they are and some are for the flowers. I've got one missing I knew I had. Is that them all? Just make sure I've not lost any other flowers. There's not actually many, considering this is me. It's just how you put them together. Right, let me just find my photo. I can't check my phone obviously because we're using it as a camera above us. So just bear with me, I'll get a drink just while my screen loads. And the coffee is cold now because I had the cardstock on the coffee warmer. Come on, thingy drive, get with the program. Right, just bear with me, it's just taking a minute for everything to load. You can't imagine how many photos there are. Oh, here it is. Here it is. 1 second, 1 second. Right, okay. So, stamen on this one, stamen on that one, that one, that one, stamen on that one, and stamen on 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. That one. So that one hasn't. That one's spare and that one's spare. Right, that's marvellous. That's just reminded me what I was doing, because I never remember one day to the next. So let's just get these lovely stamens on. These are obviously from Sensational Stamens 3. Your new ones. And then we'll get the pearls in and then we'll get them painted. So if you put your flowers together before you add the paints and everything, what you'll get is more space underneath that doesn't get hit with the paint, which is quite nice. I don't know whether you've seen, I've got a couple of keys to the side of me. And these keys are going to have a goldy tint, but not till the stamens, the flowers are done. Time is it? It's only 8:15, so we're doing okay. So, as ever, excess glue, so that it oozes out when we put the pearl in, and we can get some glitter on there. So the pearls, remember I mentioned, are caramel shimmer. I need another pot of these. So this is my big flower. And that's exactly what we want to happen. And now when that dries, it will be lovely and sparkly. Same again. I will draw a breath in a minute and read some of your comments. I knew there was a lot to do tonight. Oops. I might have just stabbed that flower. But it doesn't need A&E. It's survived quite well. And then once everything's done and this card's done, I've got something I need to tell you all. That's very exciting. But not till we've finished the demo. So if you're getting bored, you'll have to wait till the end. I'm covered in glue. Could be worse. So caramel shimmer is the perfect colour for craft card. and it's also very, very classy. We never have enough pearls and gems to put on TV, so the only place you can get them is from us. Right, so on the craft leaves, I'm just gonna get, I'll do it now, but I won't put them all on. We're just gonna get a pearl in the end of these leaves. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Just bear with me. I promise you it'll be worth it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, 8. These are the little 3mm ones. Just seeing how far down it needs to go. This is what happens when you've got sticky fingers. Put the pearls on first. I should have put the pearls in before I squeezed them. Bear with. I'm doing it because I've started. I've got 8 to do. 4, no, 8. That's one done. I should have done it before I pinched them, really. So if you do bother doing this, don't do as I did, do as I say. Right, let's just get some glitter on that while the pearls are still wet. And then I'll pinch them once they've set. Right, so moving back to the flowers now. The blue ones are going to have gold tips. So all the blue ones are going to have a little gold tip. And remember, the paint is already watered down. I've got some small flowers there, I've got some small flowers for finishing touches, but not until the card's finished. Right. So these are the cobalt blue flowers. So these are having just a tiny touch of the gold on the tips of the petals. I'll bring them in and show you in a sec. And again, it's better when your flowers are set. Almost done. I know it's a very faffy project, but it's worth it. Or it is to me. So far we've used old dies with new dies, old stamps with new dies, a new newish embossing folder with older cardstock, and this is why it's just so good to get all your old stash out and have a go again. Right, so let's just get them pushed. I'm doing nothing to the honeydew whisper flowers and nothing to the alabaster white one. I'm not putting any glitter on them either. The glitter is in the centre. Oh, I've just cleaned my finger and then saw the keys. So I've got 2 of the keys here. I don't think we've got any of these dies left, so there's no point in even showing you. So just little tints, just to give us a little vintage look. And then I've got the 2 dragonflies here from the Tatty dragonflies, which are one of the newer ones. Oh, it's starting to dry. I was hoping not to stick my finger in it again, but you know what, best laid plans and all. Remember I said to you ages ago, this is just as good as gilding wax without the smell. There's no smell at all from these paints. Right, so 2 little dragonflies are there drying. Let's make sure I've not missed anything before I stick the lid back on. No, that's it. There's nothing going on the the Air Force Blue foliage. I've resisted the urge to use the twiddly bits because by the time I put this together, it's quite a lot. Right, put that all to one side. Just push that in again. Oh, I've missed it. Have you all been shouting at me that I've missed a flower? I completely missed the screaming. Well, you don't need gilding wax, Deirdre, if you've got the paints. The metallic paints are just as good and obviously clean up much easier. And you don't even have to worry about it drying up like gilding wax is used to. So the little small flowers, I've just left them to one side, just in case I don't want to do them. Let's see if that's dried enough for me to... No, they're not dry enough yet. They're not dry enough yet. The Phill was just falling off. Right, so just whilst we'll leave that for a second to dry, we're going to stamp our little sentiment. So I'm doing 2 sentiments tonight. We're going to have one from the sentiment discs and one from the Sunflower Parade script sentiments. Now, Sunflower Parade script sentiments. Not sure if we've got any of them. I couldn't find it on our stock sheet. The inspired sentiment discs, which I absolutely love and just forgot we got. We have got sentiment disc 16. So there are 16 of these left, and I can't tell you about them because I couldn't find them. So I want my Twilight ink pad, and I know which ones I'm going for. So I want Stay Fabulous from the Sentiment cut discs. These are sentiment discs, not sentiment coins. And I'm using my VersaFine Clair because they are generally better for solid stamps, look. And these little sentiment discs are tiny. If I remember, they were about a centimetre. Two centimetres. So 2 centimetres. And I'll clean that ink off. I should have done it with a cleaner wipe, really. So sentiment discs, and then the Sunflower Parade script sentiments. If we have got any, don't hang about because I couldn't find it on our stock sheet, so that makes me think that we haven't got any. Is that big enough? No, it's not. I'm just going to chop a bit of this card up on the guillotine. Oops. Bear with me a sec. It's easier for me to do it on the guillotine. Just see if that's too big. Yeah, that's too big. That's perfect. Perfect. So 2 little sentiments going on. Happy birthday, which is just easy peasy. And then Stay Fabulous, which is what I've got with the disc. So the sentiment discs that I've used are the inspired set. And it gives you 40, can you believe that? Let me show you, look. 40 little 2 centimetre sentiment discs with all the like positive words on: stay awesome, stay fabulous, be happy, you got this, arty, artful, inspired, live, laugh, love, and all that palaver. And we forget about these things, don't we? I don't know whether you all do. We buy these things and then we use them whilst they're current, and then they get put in the tub or put in the drawer. And this is why I'm determined to get things out that are older for you and use them with the newer. I might have just smudged that. And it's a really good way, this, of getting your mojo going again. When you're struggling for ideas, just get something older out, put it with something newer, and Bob's your uncle. So let's just cut this out. I am going to cut this little disc out. It would help if my scissors weren't all clacked up. This does fit in one of the circle dies, but it's just as easy for the sake of a 2 centimetre circle. They're fabulous. And then the sentiment border, which you know is going to be snipped. I'll save that because that was a good size for them. Now we'll bring the card in and we'll make a start on putting this together. It's 8:30, so I've got half an hour to start putting this together. So let's pop on the oval first. So the oval's going on first, and it's going just off centre when I find my scissors. And you're not going to see a lot of this oval, just maybe the top part. Because there's a lot of things going on. Remember, this is only an A5 card, so it's not got a lot of space for me to work on, which is why I reduced the number of flowers I would normally put on. I'm not very good at stopping for breath, am I? I'm telling you now, the things you need to get tonight. Let me just see if I've got a better top or bottom. Yeah, it's better the other way. So just a little bit off centre. A little bit off centre and a little bit to the side. Well, I didn't do that very well, did I? I should have known better, because it needs to be higher. Of course it does. Because we've got the border die there. Let's try that again. So a little bit off centre and higher rather than lower. Just make sure that's straight. So the minky colour, I don't know whether you can see this from the, well actually you can see the shimmer, but the minky colour is really nice with the frayed burlap pad. Oh, look at that. I'm going to have to stamp that again. Where did I get blue ink from? I'm going to have to stamp that again, I'm sorry, bear with me. I don't mind a little mistake, but that was just too obvious. I've just turned it upside down. I don't know where I've got blue ink from. Right, that's better. I'll clean that in a bit. Right, so the sentiment needs to go on shortly. So this little oval, remember I told you it's just an embellishment. It's not for anything in particular. Not putting anything on it or in it. It's just going to go just to the side of there. My sentiment's going to go next to it. Bear with. So, this is the fun part for me, as you know. This is where we see it all, hopefully, coming together. And if it looks crap, you'll never see it again. There won't be no photos of it if it looks crap when I've finished. Marvellous. Just checking it's straight still. Oops. It was straight till I just knocked it again. Right. So Stay Fabulous is going to get tucked in somewhere there. So it needs to just stay at the one side. So let's bring in the flowers. And as you know, the flowers always go on before the foliage. However, not tonight. Not tonight. So let's just see if they've dried. There you go. That looks pretty now. Oh, that's better. We've got a little pearl at the end of each thing. So not tonight. The foliage, the big foliage, so the succulent foliage, that's not quite dry, is going on now. So I'm just going to check my photo to see where I put these. Well, I'll take that, Linda, thank you. So can you see now already that the dragonfly background, it looks beautiful. The goldy coloured cardstock. There isn't a goldy coloured cardstock, Emma. It's the leaves are all craft, alabaster white or Air Force blue, and the gold is the vintage gold. Metallic paint. Just bear with. I'm just looking at my photo. Yep. So. Yeah, got it, I've got it. So this one's going down here, and I can take the bottom two off. So I'm putting the big foliage on first, i.e. the succulent foliage, which I know is contrary to what I normally tell you, but it will make sense. I'm going to leave that one, even though it's been damaged. I'm leaving it long. Oh. I also had a fabulous idea earlier, but I'm not going to tell you until I've had a go at it. So this one's going just there. And then this one with no pearls in it. Remember, I've left this one plain on purpose. It's going. Still needs pinching. It's going. And this is what I was saying to you about having a rough layout, doing a dry run if you like, because I already know that these three leaves now are exactly where I wanted them. So the flowers are almost dry. So this is my big flower, which is going on first. Glue gel, there we are. Yeah, the ones with the pearls on, Emma, it's craft card. So it's craft card with nothing, just with the little pearls and the glitter at the end. So the big flower is going here. The blue one is going here. So just bear with me while I put these in the order they're meant to go. Always glue gel for this if you can help it. It just gives you a little bit more flexibility. It's not a card for it's not a card for an envelope, as you can see. So the lower down they go, the less high I make the glue gel. This is the only white flower, or alabaster. I need to stop saying white because it isn't. It's alabaster. I've never seen my desk such a mess. And let me just show you this corner already, look. So this is the same size as that one, or the same 4 petal, but look how different it looks in the lovely petals and the doodahs. So before I go any further, we're just going to put the keys on, because now I know where this flower is, I know where to put my keys. So back to the twine that I think I slung somewhere. Yeah, that's the one that's got stained, so I'll use this one. So a couple of little keys. I'm going to put the big one at the back. And the smaller one on top of it. And it's just twine. I know I don't need loads of twine. I'm not going to tie it together, but what I am going to do is just pinch it. And then I'm going to lift that flower back off. Oh. I won't swear. I won't swear. So, about there. Got some glue. Because I know this is going to be covered up by the flower. And I always put my dangly things, so charms and things like this, I always put them on with white glue rather than glue gel. I mean, these are cardstock, so they're not even heavy. So just let the glue grab, as it has. I need to get that adhesive remover on these, don't I? Snip off the excess. Oh, this is why I need to get the adhesive remover. I'm not going to do it, I promise you. No swear words. Right. Put that back on now. So we've got the dangly keys. It doesn't help that my fingers are absolutely covered in glue. Crikey, it's pitch black outside. What time is it? It's only 9:15. Put my flower back on. I've got my lovely little dangly keys. My lovely little dangly keys. And now I can carry on with the flowers. My small oval is wonky. No, it's not. It's not, it's because it's sitting inside a big oval. You're not going to see it anyway in a minute because the edge is going to be covered up. Oops, here we go. Right, so continue with the flowers. So the blue one next. It doesn't really matter which order you put these in, to be honest, but I am a little bit of a... I faffed about with this until I got it exactly where I wanted it. You know what I'm like. And then a small one. Long one, sorry. And I'll tell you something I really did like when I was prepping this. Can you see how we've got the stamens on only a couple of the flowers? I thought, I like that. I'm going to do that again. So small one. Small one. Blue one. And I know I'm putting these where I wanted them because I'm looking at my photo. The blue one. And then I've got, if you remember, two that were just stamens. And they are gap fillers. So one is for there. The other one, just poke it back up. These have not obviously set yet. The glitter's still drying. One is for there. And then we've got the rest of the foliage to put on. I'll just make sure I get that where they're supposed to be. I can't pull that down yet because it's not quite dry. So Stay Fabulous is going to get tucked under there, look. Let me put that on first so that I don't cover it with foliage. So it's just, I quite like this. I don't know why I don't do this more often. So you know when I told you I was looking through the older stuff. And I just thought, these little sentiment discs are awesome. Why don't I use them all the time? Look, so it's just tucked under, look. Next to the sentiment. I thought, how fab that looks. Oops, or it did till I made it skewy. Right, foliage. I'm going to move that dragonfly because I know I'm going to lose it if I don't. The two dragonflies are going up there. So we've got the extra foliage to put in now. And I'm just going to look where I had them. So I've got one facing that way up there. I can't tell you how much I love these leaves. And it's easy for me because it was me that designed them. But oh my word, I love them. I can't remember, is that the magnificent ones? I can't remember, with the piercing down the middle. It's either yeah, it's magnificent. So I'm going to put the Air Force Blue ones on first. So there are two Air Force Blue foliage. You'll notice that I've made sure these are smaller than the succulent foliage. So rather than go with the big magnificent fronds, I've gone with the smaller ones. So the one up here is facing outwards. So this one is facing outwards. Just bear with me. I know I'm swizzling the card around a lot, but it's got to be right. Oh, that little tint of gold is awesome. And then one facing the other way is for down here. So this one's for down here. Now you know why I love glue gel. And then the very last one, which is just a single, no it isn't, that's a fib, it's a double of the Magnificent Fronds in Craft. So just one in Craft. That's going to get tucked just coming off the edge of the card here. So we've kept to the same colour palette all the way through. I've just got a couple of dragonflies to put on, and then I will decide if I want any of these small ones on. It might not need them. Let me just stand that up to make sure the sentiment's sitting straight. It is. Thank you very much. It is. Whoop whoop. I told you it wasn't a... I don't know how you keep a straight face and carry on. Do you know I can't even see your... I can't even see your comments whilst I'm crafting, to be honest. I see them afterwards. I can't read and craft at the same time. So the two little dragonflies, these are the tatty dragonflies from the last release. You know what I'm going to say, broken record, but I like you to know that these things are nearly all gone. So let's just pop that on there. And the large one is going facing in. The small one is going facing out. And I'm just gonna pop two of these on. I'm gonna pop just two of these small leaves on, flowers on. So just get the foam mat. I'm just gonna move that. No, I've lied to you. I'm gonna put 4 on. So just bear with me. Do you want to know what was in my brain then when I've just decided I want 4 on? Would you find that useful? This is a really, really easy card to do. It's just time consuming. Do you want me to tell you what was in my brain? Would it make sense to you? Yeah, I love the dragonflies. So let's just pop 3 little pearls in. 4 even. If I can find the tiny ones. Come on. These are really small flowers, so I can shape them after the pearls have gone in. And obviously the pearls are minute. Oops. Hey, you'd be proud of me, I caught that. So, pearls. Go on then, tell us. I don't need to, it's just wondered whether it would be interesting to you, whether you'd find it useful as to what made me decide to put 4 extra flowers on. I'm going to tell you whether you want me to or not, and then I'm going to share some exciting news with you. It's not about me for a change. But it is super exciting. So 4 little flowers. And it will become clear to you why. I might have to glue that because it's bugging me. So I need to break up that colour there. So I'm going to tuck a little flower in there to break up that colour. I need 2 at the end of the sentiment. I'm going to go dark. Maybe 1 will do. No, needs 2. 2 at the end of the sentiment. And then I want 1 just above that, because that little space was bugging me. And now I'm happy. Now I'm happy. So I'm just going to remind you of the things. I know Saz has been very good posting the links for you all night, but there are a couple of things that if you don't get them, well, tonight or pretty sharpish, you're not going to be able to get them anymore. But let me just do the biz and show you what we've ended up with. I love them sentiment discs. I bet there's none left. I bet there's none left now. So this is how it looks from a distance. Definitely worth having the minky and the gold paints showing. Yeah, that is the Dragonfly Oasis magic stamp, Believe in Magic. And then this is all your bits and bobs. So some with the gold tip, some with the splatting in the background. Look, with the almond. I've just broke that key. I don't know why I'm laughing, because it's not funny. And there we go. Super easy to do. The textures look fab as well. The brick texture die with the ornate circles embossing folder. It's actually a really nice combination look. So we have the circular design from the embossing folder, but then the brick. I did actually save some of the bricks to see if I wanted to put any in, but I can't be bothered now. And there you go. So that is a mix of old and new. I'm just going to show you before you go. I bet these have all gone. So the graceful deep edges, which is how I did the lattice border. There were only 10 of them left earlier. The Dragonfly Oasis stamp. These slims, the Dragonfly Oasis collection is half price. But there weren't many of them. How many was on there? I can't find my list. But there weren't many of them. The sunflower sentiments, I couldn't find any stock of them. So if we've got any of the script sentiments, you'd be very lucky. And the inspired sentiment discs, which is what I've used on there. And there you go. Let me just get a drink, and then I'm going to tell you some very exciting news. I've got glue all over my acrylic blocks, which is just shameful. Leonie would be proud, but that's not how I roll. Make some mess, clear some mess up on me. What were you going to tell us? I'm going to tell you now. So, I don't know whether you all know this, but Lozzie from our design team has very bravely made the decision to open a craft shop. Very bravely. Now, obviously, Lozzie's one of our team, so I'm going to try and help her as much as I possibly can. So, here we go, everybody. For the... I'd be... No, Saz. I might do, Saz. Let me just do this first. So here we go. Has that come on your screen yet? There you go. So Lozzie from our design team is opening her very own little craft shop in Wellingborough, and I'm going to go up and demonstrate for her on her very first official opening day. So for any of you who can get to the demo, the opening of Lozzie's new shop, I would love to see you there. She's opening 11 till 4 on the 31st of August. It's a Sunday, so it should be easier for everybody to get on a Sunday. Now, you know I'm going to support her as much as I possibly can, the same as I do Julia, so I'm going to demo for her. It'd be lovely to see any of you there who can get to there. The postcode's on there. You can put the postcode in your sat nav, see how long it takes you. I'm sure you'll get a cake and a coffee and what have you. And you can... Oh, I've got no idea, Elaine. Honestly, Chuck, you'll have to put it in your postcode thing, your sat nav thing. But I will be demoing 11 till 3 and hope to see some of you there. I'm sure she'd be very grateful of your support as well. So, good luck to our Lozzie. I hope everything goes marvellous for you. I will do my best for you on the 31st. And yeah, I better get my hair cut. So there you go, everybody. I'm going to pop this in the Facebook group as well later, so you don't forget. Just keep reminding you. So there you go. Northants NN8 3LS if you can get. So good luck to our Lozzie, and I'll see you there. Right, let's do a little giveaway. So what I'm going to do... Excuse me, my throat's dry. That's because I've not drunk enough. I'm going to put this closer because you need to see all the detail in this fabulous card. I'll try and take a photo of that in the morning. Let's do a giveaway of the... Not this one, because you've ordered it, but one of the Dragonfly Oasis Slim Strip stamps. I know it is, Jean, unfortunately. It's not far from the train station, if that makes any difference to everybody. If you all live closer, I'd pick you up, but you don't. Right, so over to YouTube. Oh, just remember, everybody, I keep forgetting to do this. Excuse me. If you haven't yet, please follow the Sentimentally Yours Facebook page and the Honeypot Crafts Facebook page, my TikTok, and for those of you who are watching on YouTube who haven't yet subscribed, please do, and then you'll get to join in all this mayhem every Monday evening at 7 p.m. So I'll do the giveaway on YouTube first. So good luck to everybody. Ow, just creaked my neck. Good luck to everybody on YouTube. If you win, send me your name and address on a private message on the Sentimentally Yours Facebook page, and just a reminder that you've won one of the Dragonfly stamps. Excuse me, everybody. I clearly need a drink. Right, here we go. Scroll, 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 scroll. Right, just make sure it's random. Oops. Well, Saz can't win, can she? Sorry, Saz. Why does it always land on somebody that is on the design team? Right, so my mouse has landed on Margaret Twinning or Twining. Apologies, Margaret, whichever way it is. So congratulations, Margaret. Send me your name and address, you know the drill, on the Sentimentally Yours Facebook page, and we'll get one of the Dragonfly Oasis stamps sent off to you. So next week is Sneaky Peek week. Oh, is it? Hang on a minute. No, it's not. Ignore me. I'm telling you fibs. It's not next week. It's the week after. So I will not be on live on Thursday evening because it's TV this week. but I will be next Monday evening. So thank you everybody on YouTube. Remember, you can share the video and give us a thumbs up. It's very much appreciated. So over to the Facebook. Thanks, Chrissy. Margaret, not Margarita. Margarita Placatan. I used to love her. Can you remember her, Margarita Placatan? I absolutely loved her with that big fruity headdress on. Was that her? No, that was not her. Was it? I can't remember. Anyway, good luck everybody on Facebook. I'm just going back to the top of the comments. And my mouse has landed on Sheila Clark. So congratulations, Sheila. My mouse has landed on you. You know the drill, same as the YouTube. It's true, Vicky. I've just seen something you've said. Private message, reminder of what you've won and your name and address. I'm going to go before I start coughing on you all. So thank you, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and I will see you on your telly on Wednesday.